Among every world, among every timeline, among everything you can imagine in different worlds, people are there to guide you through stories, guide you through timelines. Welcome to the Blue Mask What If channel. Hello everyone, this is Blue Mask and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys will enjoy my video. And let's begin. Hello everyone, this is Blue Mask and welcome back to the second part of What If Deku Was the Reincarnation of Link. This is gonna be, I'll probably get this video to an hour, so I hope you enjoy this. So, last we left off, it's been months since I last posted a video. So, Izuku Midoriya, aka Izuku Link Midoriya, is a Hylian. Go watch the other part of what Hylians and what humans are, because those two are two different things. So yeah, Deku is a fully fledged Hylian, but in part of DNA, humans can make Hylians. Hylians cannot make humans because humans are not a stable DNA like Hylians. So that's why humans has quirks in this one. Izuku Midoriya, like I said, Izuku Link Midoriya, has a twin sister, Izumi Roses Midoriya. It's a middle name that's kind of not needed to be there, but just make sure. They are the children of Hisashi Midoriya and Inko Yagi. But right now, Inko is gonna marry Toshinori Yagi, and Hisashi is right now dating Abosa, the former chieftain of the Garuda city, or the leaders of the Garudas. She is not a chieftain. She is let that off to her daughter. That's not going to be much mention, and I don't know what I'm going to call her. Sorry if you hear me do something. I just have some problems right now, and I can't get rid of them, and I want to post a video. So yeah, Izuku is the reincarnation, meaning that he has blonde hair, but green eyes. Izuku Midoriya lost his arm at age 11 or 9. Anyways, among that age, in 11 or 9, they cannot probably be 10. It's 6 hours, my last video, and I need to go through that. So, yeah. 9 to 11, in that age, Izuku lost his arm to a former classmate when he used to live in Japan. He had a blade quirk that he cut off Izuku's right arm. At age near 14, almost at 15 at that point. No, Izuku at age 14 got a replacement arm from Zelda that is made of Zonite technology and Shiga technology. So Zelda made that out of Shiga and Zonite technology. But a few months later, they went on a little expedition, so they, aka the next hero, being a person from the English royal family, but not, it's a very distance from the crown that's in this timeline. That's not the now timeline of the royal family. So, yeah. Izuku Midoriya and this prince with Zelda went into the Lost Forest. The prince came back without even noticing he got returned, Zelda and Isuku went into the Korok forest and met the great Deku tree. Isuku pulled the sword out. They went back. They went down the mountains towards the castle. They got attacked by monsters. Isuku and Zelda fell down the hole that is near the Korok forest and went down into the depths. At that point, Zelda lost her two fingers from her right hand, being the little finger and the ring finger. She lost those two fingers when Zelda's father's sword. Zelda's father is named Alfred. Zelda's mother is named Violet. The sword went down. No, Zelda's mom is named Zelda, Violet, and the royalty name that she got. So yeah, right now she always preferred to called by Violet, but in formality she's Queen Zelda. Sorry. So yeah. Zelda's father, Alfred's sword went down into the depths with Zelda and Isuku. Isuku used his grapple arm, being one of the features of his robot arm, to grapple them down to the ground, but when they landed, the sword landed, almost actually hit Zelda in the head, but Isuku moved her, but she still got her two fingers cut off. After that, Zelda and Isuku decided, Isuku healed Zelda's hand, but couldn't get the fingers because it's that prefer surgery, and he didn't know if the king and his soldiers can come down here. So they decided, okay, we're in the depths. We don't know what the fuck have changed from the old records. We need to find shelter. They went into the area of the Soros domain and went into that hole where a old Yiga clan tent was up that's kind of destroyed, but Isuku and Zelda made that their home. After some few months, they have done everything they can. They got fishes from the water. They have discovered that animals live down there, but they're mutated. They found some birds they called skyloft or loftwings. There was a red one and a amethyst. No, not a like darker light purple one. Isuku called his ruby, and Zelda called hers amethyst. They got those two birds in those 2 years. They discovered around the whole depths in 3 years. They went into 4 temples and a 5th one that's kind of like a saved area. They're near the Soros domain. There's a kind of water lake where a temple was built of a water temple that is called the water temple that housed some challenges and everything else. Zelda and Isuku went in there. They defeated the monster that took over. In there, Zelda got an idea to make Isuku a second part of his arm. It's like a spear holding arm that can go around in the circle that can make a shield kind of thing. Isuku does have the Hylian shield on him. But the spear that's gonna turn around fast, it's gonna make a bigger area to protect himself and the people he cares about. They went into the when they got the loft wings, they went to the air temple. They met a corrupted robot. They fought that. When they defeated Isuku and Zelda, saw a statues and or holograms of the champion of the Garutas, or the flying bird people, Garutas, I think. They saw the champion and the sage, aka also the father of the sage. I forgot their names. I'm very sorry. Um, um. After that, they went into. Oh, mm, sorry, my screen. I didn't notice. Uh, sorry. They went over to a place near the Hyrule Castle. Under it, there was a little temple in there. It's a little temple where they can do some little puzzles and everything else. They went through it and discovered some few items and some few pictures of the former champions and sages, aka also the father, was also mentioned there. They got some stuff, some clothing, some armor pieces, and some few items being some tables, some couches, and a bed. They found well, the Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, Zelda and the Link's tomb being their last breathing, or their coffin. They saw it and they saw a message from Zelda. They got some clothes or some fabrics and everything else. Zelda makes some clothes because she can make everything. She makes some clothes and some items. Um, they went to the fire temple under the volcano that was blocked off but still produces lava. The old fire temple was still there. They can still find that. But the new fire temple was in the middle of the volcano with lava surrounding it. They used fireproof armor to go in and defeated a corrupted lava monster. Zelda and Zelda got an inspiration to make a boulder fist, being a um a metal ball on a chain that Izuku can destroy rocks and hit obstacles away from him. They went to the after that they went to the lightning temple. Zelda got a second idea when they went in there. Those creepy things from Tears of the Kingdom was in that temple as well. They defeated the princess of that one. So defeated that one. Zelda went in. She got an idea to make a elemental cannon for Deku, so he can get elemental items being frost berries, flame berries, or lightning berries, water berries, or flash berries, or anything else, or crystals and everything else that was down in the depths. So yeah, Zelda made those things. Zelda and Izuku get into a relationship in the second year. They're right at that point. They were still 14 when they went down into the depths. A few months later, it was Deku's birthday, so he was 15. I'm so sorry. Um, Deku he turned 15 when he was in the depths. He turned when they fell down. He's still the next year when they fell down into the depths. On that day, Deku was still 15, so he was 16 in the near the end of the second year. Third year comes around, they started today. When they fell down, Deku turned 17. So near almost 3 years later, both Zelda and Izuku are 17. Yeah, I think I'm correct. Both of them are 17 at this point. At near the day, probably 2 days before or 2 days after Izuku and Zelda went down into the depths, the king, or King Alfred as he's called, said fucking and released the councils of corrupt Hylians and everything else. It's he to he sent out away the council and took the leader of the Sora, the leader of Goron City, and leader of Rito City. Yeah, I think I'm right. And the leader of Goruta City, being the daughter of, well, this reincarnation of Abosa. So yeah, those four are the main council to the king. They cannot be corrupt. If they get corrupt, they get ousted from their royalty status, or someone else takes over. So yeah, that happened. The king decided to go down into the depths with four guards and two heroes. He asked All Might and Eraserhead because, well, no, he asked the principal of UA. He sent All Might and Eraserhead. Izumi got there with Inko as well. At that point, the king has introduced Abosa to Hisashi. Abosa and Hisashi started to date afterwards when they met. So the king, the queen, four high guards, being the most trained soldiers in Hyrule, All Might, Eraserhead, Abosa, Hisashi, and Izumi went down into the depths to try to find Izuku and Zelda. When they went down, they searched around. Aizawa found two bone fingers, being the remains of Zelda's little finger and ring finger. They went they tried to figure out where they could go. Zelda's mom, being Violet, asked if they can go to Sora's domain at first because there is water. They went to Sora's domain. Deku actually fought All Might and actually knocked him away. He fought Eraserhead and actually fought him pretty well. Alfred recognized Izuku as Izuku. They reunited. Izuku introduced Zelda back. The king and queen saw Zelda's fingers, and all of them saw the love wings. Izuku explained everything about the creatures and that it has happened in the underground or in the depths. Levalso's kind of destroyed Izuku's right bicep arm. Yeah, Izuku's got his arm cut off by the shoulder part. Izuku blocks a Levalso's, or the lizard kind of creature. It had a spear and tried to kill Izumi. Izuku blocked the attack and killed the Levalso's, but kind of destroyed the arm. Zelda took it off. She has repaired it, and I think Izuku has the arm on again when they went to sleep. That's the recap. This was long, and I'm so sorry. So yeah, that is probably it. Yeah. So that's the recap. Hope you guys will enjoy this video. Let's begin. The next day, after everyone went to sleep, Isuku and Zelda packed up everything they could, being food, items, and materials for Isuku's arm, research papers they have gotten and everything else. They packed it in the bag that everyone else took some items with down, being some suitcases and things to hold items if they found them alive. Isuku and Zelda actually took the robot that was down there with them, being F5. I think I called him. Isugu asked if F5 wanted to come. He agreed, so they packed him up so they can take him back. Everything was on, and Isugu took some of the packs on, Ruby. When everything was ready, everyone, walked back towards the hole. There's no fares or anything else. Isugu and Silla actually said that they can use the Soros domain area where they used to live to. The researcher can go there and actually set up a base camp. So they can do their research and actually get some food when they are down there. When Isuku and Zelda went over to the whole area where they fell down, there was a there Zelda's father, being Alfred, took out a device and called someone up on the surface. Jackson, take down the elevator. We have found them. A voice came from the items and spoke. Aye, aye, sir. Or, understood, sir. Elevator's coming down. It's gonna be a few trips, so please stand by. Understood, sir. After some few moments, the elevator went down to the ground. Isuku and Zelda saw the elevator that's made out of Zonite tech and Shiga tech. The first one to go up wasn't Isuku or Zelda. It was Hisashi, Abosa, All Might, Eraserhead, and All Might, and Izumi went up first. After that, the guards and the items that was gonna take with up came up first. Came up second when the elevator went down. After that, Izumi and Zelda, not Izumi, fuck. The fuck? Deku and Zelda went up to the elevator first, while second with the king and queen. The falso, no shit. Um, the Loft Wings was also with them, standing on the elevator when it got pulled up. I'm quite happy we found you. I'm as well, father. But please, you didn't get me an arranged marriage, did you, or the council? Ah, I think I never mentioned. The council has been disbanded. The four leaders of the four tribes here are gonna help me, Zelda. With doing some ruling and everything else. Oh, that is quite a good idea, father. You can call me that, Zelda. That's quite a good idea, Dad. It is. After 5 minutes of going up, they came to a wide sort of room where they see a bigger tent that was there. Isuku and Zelda looked around to see the employees being some Shiga and some Hylians going around researching and everything else. They see over at a table where the guards had put down the information that Isuku and Zelda has researched down into the depths with the researcher. They also informed them that an area at the Sordos domain is available where the researcher can go down and actually make up a camp where they can research the depths or much more. When the researcher heard about this and heard about all the information that Isuku and Zelda has made, they were appreciated. All this information and everything else they needed to know, they can probably discover some more because of Zelda and Isuku only being two people, but the researchers can be around 50 or 20 down in the depths now. After when the researcher and Chica saw the two love wings, they kind of were surprised, but Itsugo and Zelda was and the love wings went over to the exit, and Isugu went out first to finally see the sun. Isugu covered his eyes to get the lighting right in, trying to see because he's went down into the dark for many 3 years by now. So he needs to get used to the lighting or anything else. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. When Isugu went out, looked around the area and saw the Hyrule Castle in the distance. The Hyrule or Castle City in the distance as well. He saw the floating islands, by the way. So I forgot to mention about the floating islands in Tears of the Kingdom that has arrived. Some of the platform has actually living people on it, being one of the areas that has living people is the Rito ships, or the Rito ship is a research platform where they research the sky or weathers and everything else. The Temple of Lightning, that area, is a museum or a archaeologist play around to discover everything else. Um, the Sora Temple or the Water Temple in the Water Temple in the sky is also has converted into a living place for the Soras, so they can be up in the sky. It also produces clean water. Um, some Hylians is actually living on some islands. One of them being the training or the hunting ground of the Sora, or the not Soros, the Sheikah, the Sonite hunting or the starter island where you wake up. I forgot its name. The hunting island is a place where Hylians live. There's also some other places where some few people lives. There is. There's not a lot of places people live in the sky, but a lot of people lives on that training area. Um, but the robots that used to be on those islands has completely destroyed over the years because of some previous people that was being humans was at one point on the islands and destroy every single robot on that island so they couldn't be used anymore. So um a AS, or I forgot its name, or S20 or S20 A7, I think I said. A7 is one of the last Sonai robots, Steward bots left. So yeah, Isugo saw all the islands around and looked and saw everything. Isugo turned down the road to see the natures and everything, but saw a line of people down there taking pictures and everything else. The king went out after some few moments. It seems the reporters had gotten news that we found you. It seems it seems that way, my king. After some few moments, Zelda went out with the queen, and she also did the same thing, saw everything else. When the public went arise and started to talk and asking questions, being some few humans, Hylians, and everything else. Zelda was Zelda was a little bit shocked and a little bit nervous. Remember, it's been 3 years for those two to have other human interactions. So Isugu is right now a little shake. Zelda is right now a little shaken, but Isugu went into his old protection or Zelda's personal light and just stood in front of her, protecting her from the news. Reporters started to talk and everything else, but Isugu just blocked Zelda with the Hylian shield so no one could well see her. After some few moments, car a car came over where Zelda and Isugu could go in and they could ride off towards Hyrule Castle. Or Hyrule Hyrule Castle. Isugu and Zelda was sitting in the car looking outside. Isugu and Zelda actually is a much paler than usual because they've been down in the dark for many 3 years, so their skin tone has kind of lightened more than usual. No, they would actually have the same kind of color because they're actually near Death Mountain's lava. So they actually have the same kind of complexion. Yeah, they would have the same kind of skin tone. They would not be kind of lighter in tone, right? Wait, I've heard why I said that because I've heard that if you are in the dark for so many years, you kind of go a little. You don't get that much sun in your skin that gave you that tone of your or anything else. So you're kind of more lighter in skin tone. Is that a thing or I'm just wrong? I think I'm kind of right, but I don't know. Um, Isugu and Zelda was in the car looking outside to the water. No, actually, they will not go inside the car. Scratch that whole about the car thing and everything else. When Isugu was blocking Zelda for being photographed, the king trying to stop the news, but they didn't listen to him. Isugu went over to Violet, or no, Isugu went over to Amethyst, and Zelda jumped on it on her left wing. Isugu jumped on Ruby and informed Alfred when he saw that he's going to Hyrule Castle with Zelda. Alfred told them he's going to inform Hyrule Castle guard that don't attack two flying birds that's coming near the castle. Isugu said fine, and both of them took off, and the news and everything was surprised by this and took a lot of videos and pictures. There, both of them was flying off into the sky, and both of them felt the breeze of the fresh air, not just kind of stale air down in the depths, but fresh wind in their face, fresh sun in their face, They just looked around and felt warm. Izuku and Zelda flew a lot closer and talked a little. They talked about how they're excited to be on the surface again, how they're gonna make everything else. But they wanted to know, well, they were thinking, what now? They had their adventure in the depths. They had a lot of fun down there, but still had a lot of issues down there. Being the monsters and being only two people down there, they kind of got into a lot of argument. Well, in the first place, but in their third year, they kind of knew each other as much as as they can. Being that they can just look at each other and talk. That's kind of one of the crazy things they have learned to do. They can feel each other's moods and everything else. They can just move around and just be in sync. They just have done a lot of things down there together that has been hard for them, and and a lot of good times down there, but still a lot of bad times. Isugu and Zelda was flying on their love wings to Hyrule Castle that will take around 15 minutes. Zelda went closer to Isugu so she could actually walk over the wing, over her loft wing's wing, and actually sit with Isugu on Ruby. Isugu grabbed Zelda's hand and made sure she got over safely towards him and was sitting in front of him on Ruby. Zelda leaned back to Isugu's chest and just got comfortable on it. So, how was it with the whole news and everything else? I kind of wish I never saw them again. Goddamn vultures. Yeah, you can say that, Princess Zelda. You, I am Zelda to you. Nothing more, nothing less. Hmm. Yes, of course, Zelda. I am yours, and always will be yours. Stop smooth talking. Alright, alright. Both of them laughed and just when they were flying in the air, just flying towards Hyrule Castle. After some few minutes of flying, they landed in the a um they landed near the entrance to the main Hyrule Castle, into the castle itself. They landed on that and on the platform when some few guards went over to check who it was and saw that Isugu and Zelda was on it. Remembering their faces and everything else, they immediately went over to help them down. Isugu went down first and helped Zelda himself get down from the loft wing. When the guards saw the left wings, Isugu told them, "Bring them to the stables, but they need bigger areas. They need fish to survive and eat. Not cooked fish, not anything else, just raw fish. It's fine if they get the whole thing, but please remove the head or the tail. And make sure they can fly around the castle sometimes. It's fine if they fly around, okay?" The guards understood it and took, well, the kind of ropes that was around the loft wings and took them down to the stable. Isugu and Zelda went into Hyrule Castle and was walking down the corridor, walking, well, into the throne room of Zelda and Isugu walk into the throne room of the Hyrule King, spotting four. spotting the throne of the king and queen, but also spotting four seats on the side, not near the throne, but on the sides of where the king and queen was. There was a symbol of the Soros domain, the symbol of the symbol of the Gorons. There was the symbol of the Garutas and Rito symbol. When they walk in, no one was sitting on the seats, but four figures was standing in front of a group of old around men in their 40s to 70s. They were standing in front of these four people and talking to them. Uh, these men was the previous member of the councils to the king, but they were kicked out of the council and everything else. Right now, they are arguing with the new council for the king, being the leader of the Garudas, the leader of the Ritos, the leader of the Soras, and the leaders of the Gorons. When they walked in, no one noticed them coming in. But the leader of the Garutas actually spotted Zelda and Isuku walking in. She looked confused at first, but saw Zelda and how she looks, actually recognizing her. And when the woman turned to Suku, she recognized it looks like Hisashi. Hisashi has met her and her husband. When the woman called out Zelda and Isuku, Princess Zelda, uh, and the Hylian champion. All the people that was arguing in the throne room turned around to Zelda and Isuku walking in. Isuku was behind Zelda with his arms and everything else. Princess Zelda walks in front of Isuku with a princess, the princess royalty walk. She still has that memorized and everything else, but had a serious face on her, well, a serious look on her face. Hello, lady. What's a good name for her? Lady. Hmm. No, that would not work. Oh, this is just a name. She doesn't actually look like this character. Hello, Lady Freya. Hello, Lady Freya of the Garutas. Lady Freya actually looks like her mother, but has more. eh, Her hair doesn't pull, isn't reaching a little more over, and has a big ponytail on her back. She has more straighter hair on the top of her head that went down to a shoulder, and after that some few braids in her. She has straight hair down to her back that actually looks that's not braided or anything. It's just straight hair down. The she looks like um she looks like she has Garuda clothes on. I will not describe it or anything, but normal Garuda looks on and had the Hylian crown on her head. She looks more like a Bosa, but a little doesn't look. She looks more feminine than a warrior. But Lady Freya of the Garudas, or the Lady Freya, the leader of the Garudas, has a claymore on her back, a huge sword on her back, being the Garuda great sword on her back. The second leader, being the leader of the Ritos, is a green colored Rito with that looks like more like Rivali on his head. Meaning he has Rivali's, yeah, I remember his name now. Rivali's head, it kind of like that, but more, but it's green color, uh, tone, green color instead of black. He has a kind of look in his eyes and has a kinder smile. He has um a typical Rito body in his stature. He has the same kind of outfit that the Rito leader has on from the Tears of the Kingdom. The dad of the sage, or the person that helped you get into the Rito's the sacred beast. That person, that kind of clothing he has on. And he has the leader's bow on his back. Um, the Goron's leader is hmm, the leader of the leader of the Gorons is named the leader of the Guru, not the leader of the Gorons is named Doran. A random name I know. He he has the same kind of bulk as Ubos. He has a typical kind of look of a Goron. He has white hair that he has a face that is like in his 30s or anything else. He has white hair that's like is in a normal um he looks like a Garuda from Legend of Zelda Twilight being no he like he looks like more like the Rook, his hair and everything else, but he doesn't have a beard on his face. He has a kind of little chin beard. He has a chin beard instead of a full beard on his face. The leader of the leader of the Sora's or Sora's domain. Yeah, the leader of the Sorons are. He actually looks more like Prince He actually is. He's actually the reincarnation of Sidon, but he's more black in reddish black color. Um, the leader. I've got the leader of the Goron. The leader of the Gorons has a claymore as usual. The Sidon's descendant, he's named Sack, the Prince Sack. He has swords instead of a spear. So yeah, those are the four leaders. We don't really care about the previous people in the Council of the Kings. All right, that was a mistake. The previous kings, the previous king, the previous council to the king, not kings, the Council of Kings. I'm sorry. That was kind of loud. When, well, the leader of the Garudas, Freya, says the names of Zelda and Isuku, well, the title Princess Zelda and the Hyrule champion of Hyrule. Everyone turned around to see that Zelda and Isuku is actually in front of them. An old man that I wouldn't describe. He looks like an old man in some noble outfit. You can choose whoever you want. Walks over with a smile, but Zelda knows that he's trying to do something. Ah, Princess Zelda, it's good to see you alive. Uh, Zelda just says a random name, being blank, uh, or Mr. Blank. Mr. Blank, what is lovely a surprise to see you here. Lovely surprise, my dear, I'm supposed to be here. Supposed to? I thought my father disbanded, you old fools. Excuse me, my lady. Oh, you heard me. My father kicked you out of his council. He only needs the well, he only needs advice from the four leaders of each tribe. I don't suppose your old ass should be here. Princess Zelda, that is not a tone to take up with an old elder. Well, I've been gone for 3 years, down in something called the depths. So you kind of learn to get an attitude down there where you're not surrounded by pains in the ass of, well, everything in the castle. So I get an attitude. So please, be quiet. The man stood up, but still had an angry look. Now, may I ask why you all are here? My father told me that you old coots should not be here. Freya walked over to well, Isugu and Zelda. Princess Zelda. These men wanted to get you into an arranged marriage when you returned. A arranged marriage? Again? Yes, Princess Zelda. The last time didn't go as well as it should have. And I almost got killed when that happened. So no arranged marriage. I would choose my own partner. One of the old men walked over to Zelda and started to talk. Princess Zelda, this prince is from the Middle East. He's a well known man for his people, and is very respected. I don't give a flying flip who you are talking about. I will choose my own husband, and who I'm gonna marry. No one else. Do you understand me, Mr. Blank? But you need to marry into royalty. And I almost did. And it almost got me killed. So no thanks. I am not gonna do that. But no buts. And I have already chosen who I want to marry. So no, I will not be arranged to someone else. I have chosen my own, and I will be with him forever. So be quiet, or take his blade up your ass. Princess Zelda. That is not how you be quiet. Or he's actually gonna fucking do it. Everyone of the old council, but the other leaders of the tribes kind of had a little respect for Zelda actually talking back to these old guys in the court, or the old king's hand advisors. Isugu in the background when the elders turn to him when they hearing a sword being drawn from Isugu's back. When they saw Isugu do that, they immediately understood that Stella has chosen Isugu to be her bri- her husband, or the next king in line. The man turned to Zelda, and Zelda just had a look saying, "Don't fucking deal. I will not deal with you." The man backed off back to the group that was in the entrance, and Isugu clicked the master sword on his back again. "Now, if you will excuse me, I will go up to my room and get some sleep in an actual comfortable bed I know. And I have done a lot, so please don't interrupt me, don't do anything, and get the hell out of the castle." Zelda pointed to the entrance, and the older people was about to speak, but Istugu just drew the master sword from his back. The elders was kind of scared by this, but Istugu just yelled back at some guards. "Please escort the king's advisors out of the castle, please." When the guards heard this, the guards went over to the old men and just ordered them to get out. After 5 minutes, the old people got out of the throne room, and Solo just breathed in relief. "I've only been back 5 minutes in the castle, and I've already kicked out an old member of my father's court." Freya walked over to Freya walked over to Isugu and Zelda. Freya walked over to Isugu and Zelda and started to talk. "Princess Zelda, it's very nice to see you again." "It very much is, Lady Freya. And might I add, you look beautiful. You look very beautiful last time I saw you, but you look more gorgeous now." "Indeed, very indeed." Itsugu walked forward to Zelda's side when Freya saw him. She turned to him and reached out his hand. Reached out her hand. "And you must be Isuku, Hisashi's boy." "Yes, I am. And you must be Abosa's daughter." "Yes, and it seems like we are gonna be, well, step siblings." "Indeed, it seems like that." "I hope we two get along well." "Ah, that can be very much, well, yes." "Well, that will be very exciting." "Indeed." The other three members of the core, other three leaders of the being Ritos, Gorons, and Soros walked over to the others, and Izuku and Zelda talked to them as well, saying hello, how are you, and they actually asked a few questions how they survived. Freya actually noticing that Zelda is missing two of her fingers. Zelda explained that her father's sword actually cut them off when they actually fell down to the ground of the depths. Zelda's fingers got cut off. Izuku and Zelda could not, place them back, so they had to leave their fingers. So Zelda rebuilt, two fingers, but showed off the modification being some tools that can repair, Izuku's arm just very, very good. They got surprises, and Isugu showed off the modification arms that he has. But after that, both of them said to them they're going back to Zelda's room. They went up to Zelda's after after 5 minutes. They reached Zelda's room and walked in. Zelda looked around and saw her room was actually cleaned. She walked around and looked at the items that were still there. This last building materials, last everything else. Zelda walked over and placed the case where A7 was in. Wait, it's a Stewart bot. Oh, it is S7, not A7. S7 or Stewart bot 7 or Stewart, whatever it's called. When that happened, Zelda, the robot went out of the case and looked around. It's a very, it's a very nice room, Lady Zelda. Of course it is. Now, do you mind checking on the items on the tables? Of course. Give me a moment. The sewer bot went over to, or S7 went over to the table of, well, where Zelda builds her items in her room and started to clean it up. But Zelda went over to the bed and laid down, well, on it, feeling the bed and just how, well, soft it is. She sighed and just laid on it for a few minutes. Itsugu walked over to her and just tapped her on her on her head. Yes. Zelda, you should probably take a bath. Why? Well, it's been 2 days since you last took one, and right, you can actually get some hot water and actually get some soap and everything else. Good idea. Zelda Zelda got off of the bed and went over to take some well comfortable clothes. She took some sweatpants, some well comfortable socks, and a t-shirt that Istugu recognized as his. Well, in a very old one that disappeared from his house at one point. Oi, is that my t-shirt? Oh, yeah, it is. You stole it, didn't you? Yes. Anyways, it's probably too small for me. After that, Zelda went into the bathroom and went into the shower and started to clean up. Isugu looked around in the room and walked over to S7, seeing what it was doing, and it was kind of, well, cleaning up the bench and everything else and tucking in the plants. You feel at home, don't you, S7? I feel very at home. I feel very at home, Sir Link. I told you so many times to call me Suku. That's my actual name. And for the last time, I will call you Link. Fine, fine. Link it is. One day, just one day. Isugu Isugu watched A7 cleaned up, and Isugu saw the plans for Zelda. Being some upgrades to, well, Isugu's arm, it being a cannon looking thing that looks like his elemental cannon, but it was supposed to shoot arrows, but Isugu likes his, well, bow arm. There was also one that had a blade in it, but Isugu just likes holding a normal blade. There was also a one that had a soft grip. What was this for? Izuku just shook his head and put it away. I will I will not understand that. Well, I don't think I will understand that one. Izuku walked over to a chair on sit down on Zelda's desk and was just looking around. When he actually spotted S7 holding two things in his hand. Oi, S7. Yes. Can you give me those two things? Of course. Here you go, Master Sir Link. Izuku grabbed the two things and saw it was actually his and Zelda's phone. Because of Zelda and him leaving the phone with the king, I think I no I no I said that they had their phone down in yeah, I think I said I had that Zelda and Izuku actually had their phone down there, but it could never get a signal. Um, Isugu asked for the two chargers to his and Zelda's phone that died many months, 2 years ago. Well, 3 years ago, their phone died. So Isugu went over to a wall socket and put the put the two phone charger in, and they started to charge. After some few minutes, after 15 minutes, Zelda actually came out of the bathroom and had the sweatpants and t-shirt on. When she walked out, Zelda talked. Hey, Isuku? Yeah, what is it? Isuku had his back towards the bathroom, actually. Does do I look actually big in this? Isuku looked confused and turned around to see that Zelda in her previous sweatpants and his old t-shirt. Zelda had a curvy figure. I don't know about sizes on a woman, so um Zelda had his her uh Zelda chest size was around the middle, not huge, but in a normal size chest. She had a her butt looks like Zelda from Breath of the Wild. Istuku actually choked, looked very surprised at how she looks. Zelda walked over to Isuku and leaned her face near his. Are you okay? Yeah, you look very gorgeous. Even this? Yeah, very much. Thank you very much, Isuku. Now, Zelda walked over to a closet and pulled out extra clothes that she actually took from Isuku. You stole more clothes from me, didn't you? Yep. I have some huge sweatpants here that I took from you. I I formerly used it as my my PJs, but I think you need them more. And a bigger t-shirt. Why didn't you use these for clothing? Well, I wanted my things, and those two were kind of the things I grabbed. But here, Isugu grabbed them and went into the bathroom. After 10 minutes of being in the bathroom, Isugu walks out and Isola actually looked when Izuku went out, and she blushed as well. When Izuku went out, he was kind of tucking his t-shirt, trying to get it more down to his waist, because the t-shirt was actually grown not very small. He can still have it on, but it's tight around his chest area and stomach. His pants was, well, it was not clinging to him. There was still a little air between his legs and the clothes, but Stella could still see his legs and everything else. And god damn, Izuku looks like a demigod. What Stella was thinking. I think I have to get some new clothes. Oh, why? Zelda, you're drooling. You were worse than me. I can't help myself. Alright. Izuku walked over to an extra chair. Zelda took the most comfortable chair that she had in her room. Izuku took a chair that he put in there for himself. Zelda actually rolled over to a computer, and she actually wanted to check out some old channel or what have happened in the world. So after some few hours of watching and the king and queen returning to the castle, talking to the two that was in the castle, talking to Izuku and Zelda, they went away. They still watched some new videos that was posted, some new series that they like, saw some new, well, shows, animes that has come out. They watched some news and everything else. But after that, both of them went to sleep when the night came. 3 months later. Yeah, I'm gonna do a time skip here. It's been 3 months since Isuku and Zelda has returned. And when the news heard about that Zelda, the Princess Zelda, and her personal knight has returned from a place called the Depths that's down under Hyrule, and they have actually gotten some few exotic creatures up from the depths, and actually got some research on the depths. Everyone was surprised, but there was not a clear, perfect picture of how Zelda looks like. They had a clear picture of Isuku and his face and everything else, but Zelda couldn't be noticed. So, 2 weeks after Zelda and Isuku returned, I'm just gonna tell what happened in these 3 months. After 2 weeks of Isuku and Zelda returning, they had a kind of ball inviting important guests, popular heroes being All Might, Star and Stripes, some few other popular heroes around the world, some few celebrities that's good friends with the royal family, some few leaders and everything else, and some good friends that the king has, meaning Hisashi is there, Inko was there as the All Might's VIP, and everything else. Some news cameras was actually taking some picture of the people that was, well, some cameras was outside of the castle doors, taking some pictures of the people that was walking in. After that, the people talked around when the king got everyone's attention. He said the normal spiel. It's great to see everyone has arrived, and I hope everyone had a good time at this kind of reunion to the Hyrule people. Some few cameras was on some few balconies that was looking down at the throne. The king said, "Let me introduce. Let m- I would like to all of you to welcome back my daughter from the depths." Zelda walked out in uh, a beautiful blue dress that looks like the normal blue dress from Breath of the Wild. That blue dress that Zelda has, that's a royalty. But Zelda had a beautiful braid down her back and everything else, and makeup on. Isugu actually having the royal night. Isugu had a actually a green dark suit on, and still has his sword and shield on his back because he's still the guard of Zelda. So he has the master sword on his back with the shield. When the king said, I want you to welcome back my dear daughter Zelda and her personal knight, and also the next hero of Hyrule." Everyone saw, well, Isugu and Zelda, and Zelda had her arms around Isugu's hand. Isugu, not, no, 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 no. Zelda had arms around Isugu's robot arm. Everyone could see he had a robot hand, but his arm was covered by a sleeve. Everyone could actually spot that Zelda has two robot fingers on her. Well, instead of her, everyone saw the two fingers, and Zelda and Zelda and Isuku greeted everyone. "Now let the festivities go on." The the kind of night went over and everything else. Isugu and Zelda talked to some more important people and everything else. Some few news that was allowed actually asked Isuku and Zelda some questions about the depths. They explained some few things and everything else. And more so after that they still went around to talking to everyone. And both of them actually danced on the dance floor when the music went on. Um After that, a month 4 weeks went by, being a month into a month and 2 weeks passed by, and Isugu was training with the guards to well hone his sword skills again. They kind of got rusty down in the depths fighting only monsters. So Isugu got his training up again, and actually Zelda making some few items for Isugu, being a force field shield, a a force field, a the blade. She made some blades from Breath of the Wild that does. She got blades and everything else. That sort of blade she made for Isuku for safety's sake. Um, they actually float around into the islands and looked at them with their loft wings. But Isuko and Scylla decided to actually go to Japan to go into the UA, going to UA High. They decided after that to go there to, well, get their studies, and if Isuku had to fight some, village, if they go to that part of the world, it's better for Isuku to have a license than anything else. So Isuku is just honing his skills and his, how he fights and everything else. Zelda is building up and actually wanted to be a kind of support creator and everything else. So if she gets some few things and everything else. But she also learns about, well, ruling and everything else because of her father, and she still needs to be the queen. After those months passed, Isugu Isugu went Isugu and Zelda had actually visit Hisashi in his home. Isugu is actually staying in the castle most of the time, but still he goes home with Zelda to Hisashi's home. And Isugu has actually bonded with Abosa and Freya a lot, actually meeting Freya's husband, Otter. Yes, Danmachi reference, even though they're not actually the same. Uh, well, no. Otter just looks like Otter from Danmachi. He's a human. He's bigger. He looks like whatever Otter is. So he actually trains with Otter as well. And actually trains with Freya and some other things. Zelda actually learns how to make weapons from Hisashi as well. A lot of people are kind of a lot of high members of the society is actually kind of shocked of Zelda's interest in technology. But the king is like, you cannot say shit. She's been down there, down in the depths for 3 years, and a lot of people that goes down there from these, well, from 2 months when some researchers went down, said it's actually kind of horrifying down there. So you can be quiet. She has gone through a lot. Izuku and Zelda had actually gone down back into the depths to see how the camp that's down in the Sora's domain area has actually set up. They actually took out the items. They took the items from the camp, well, meaning the tables, the bed, the sofas, and everything else, and actually put them into a museum in the Hyrule Castle, and actually said that these items was from the king and queen that rebuilt Hyrule after the calamity. This was their items that Isuku and Zelda took over when they had took the items from their tomb. They got the permission from a recording from the Porapad. So yeah, Isugu and Zelda helped the researchers down in the depths when they went down there to show them around the temples and what they have to research and everything else. They spent around 3 days down in the depths and returned up to the surface. And after that, Isugu hanged out with Izumi and actually met Katsuki again when Izumi was visiting shit. When Izumi was visiting Hisashi and Abosa, Bakugo actually came with, and so Bakugo and Itsugu met again. So they had a reunion of sorts and talked about a lot of stuff. Bakugo actually asked to fight Isugu when he learns he's gonna go to UA, and Bakugo got his ass kicked. It took 1 minute and he was on the ground. Oh god, it sounds like I didn't get a lot of air. Sorry. Um after whole Isugu met Bakugo again, Zelda met Bakugo again. They kind of hanged out and actually went around Hito village. There was actually one incident with a human that was in Hyrule that tried to kidnap Zelda, but Zelda just used her two robot finger to just stun him with them. Everyone that was around and saw the whole thing was surprised that Zelda did that. Said, "What? I'm not down in the depths anymore, so I had to take precautions." Izuku just smiled and kicked the guy and just held held the guy when the Hyrule soldiers came and arrested him. He was deported back to he was the man was deported back to Russia. So Izuku and Zelda has been doing a lot of things, hanging out with the king and queen. They've been hanging out with Hisashi and Abosa a lot. Also, Izuku has talked to his mother actually at one point. He still he still isn't very happy. Izuku and Inko's relationship has is not very good because a lot of things that they don't agree upon at on this. So they don't have a good relationship. They do not actually have one. So after that meeting, Isugu has talked to Inko a few times, but not a lot after these 3 months. But right now, Zelda and Isugu is actually visiting Abosa and Hisashi in Hito City. Or Hito. Isugu and Zelda is visiting Hisashi and Abosa in Hito Town. Isugu was laying on the roof of his former house, on his house, well, Hisashi's house, being being the house that where the former Link's house was actually at. Isugu actually found that out and told Hisashi. Hisashi was shocked, but anywhere else, he was laying on the roof of his house, just looking at the stars. Izuku got into the habit of laying on high a high tower or a high hill if he's out in the Hyrule fields, or if he's at Hisashi's house, he's most likely on the roof looking at the stars. After some few moments, he hears Zelda walking over to him and laying down beside him, laying her head on his chest. Both of them didn't talk as much, but they still, well, Zelda had her chest laying on Izuku's. No, I made that. I made a mistake. Zelda had her head on Izuku's chest, and Izuku had his arm wrapped around her shoulder. They were laying there for a few minutes, not talking, just being in each other's company when Isugu spoke. It's really wild. It's been so long since we have been up here. 3 months. Almost 3 months. Still can't believe we're out of the depths. Yeah. But probably in 7 months we will go into the exam of the UA. Well, the recommended exam. Yeah. Both of them went quiet and just looked at the stars. This is gonna be a hard journey, isn't it? Yep, a new journey. A new fight we have to do. Well, at least I'm with you, Zelda. And I'm with you. Zelda leaned her. Well, Zelda went closer to Isuku and was hugging Itsuku's side. Isuku just hugged back to Zelda, and both of them just looked at the stars. This This is gonna be excited. A new journey out of the depths. Yeah. We should probably get back in bed. Yeah, we should. Both of them stood up and walked over to a window that was on the roof and went back into the house. We see the door close from the roof, and we zoom out from the house, looking at it and looking at when we zoom out from the house on that side of the hill, out and looking at Hito Hito town and out even more, seeing well the Shika village, and we see the rest of Hyrule. But in the sky, we see in the sky a golden looking thing floating in the sky, and we hear a specific roar coming from the sky. And that's gonna be it from this episode. I know it's shorter than the last one, but I hope you enjoyed this. And it was just an introduction video from the first one and a little bit more of a little the second episode is just a little more development for everyone. So hope you enjoyed this video. Good morning, goodbye, farewell, see you later. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. Bye bye.